So the whole idea that I had for this video is just to show you guys how I went about doing this. I'm not a professional, and I made a couple mistakes as I went along, but I kind of get around those and make it all work in the end to a good degree where I'm happy with the product that I make. There's still a lot of work that I want to do on this car, but this is just to show me taking the cats off and then replacing that with new piping, as well as the muffler / resonator that I added on. I'm also removing the ACV, the charcoal canister, and the air pump, and leaving the original Y pipe that I made. Other than that, that's about all I'm doing right now. There are a bunch of other problems that are with this car, but not enough to where it's significant on the driving impact right now. All right, so we've got the muffler already tacked up. We're going 3-inch for this. We're gonna put the flanges on to each end and then see how it sounds once it's put back together. We've got a few welds on it so far. I'm gonna try and finish it all up, see what we can do. We're running around 85 amps. Let's get this shit done. Alright, we got the flanges welded on the muffler. Pretty decent welds. We've got this other piece that I already previously welded on, and honestly this is looking fairly good. That's what we're replacing. This is in with the new. So we gotta create a bend. I think that spot's about where we're gonna do it. I don't have a bandsaw or a pipe bender, so I will be doing pie cuts with a ghetto cut off wheel and grinder. See how we can get it done. I'm not worried about it because I did this before, but right now we just got to replicate the structure of how this is, and then after that just tack it, finish it all up, and we'll be all set. But yeah, not too bad. So now, since I've got that portion of the catalytic converter complete, I need to finish the other two that are also there. So this is kind of the weird part because it makes a little bit of an angle, which, that we're going to have to account for with a pie cut. And then somewhat straight, but then right around here it starts to increase in elevation to get up to the header. So I've started with the flange and then one of the pie cuts that we're probably going to have to end up making two. But this is a fairly similar angle so far. We're definitely gonna have to make another one, maybe towards where the other cat starts, but making some progress. I've also got to finish this side, and don't mind the pipe fit up, it's not the best. All right, so I've got the part of the exhaust that I welded up on. I've also got the 5th and 6th port attached, so it should work. I don't really know the physics behind it, but that goes into a mechanical device which opens and closes the ports, which is like in the intake of some sort. And then all I gotta do is get this to attach to the muffler, which is already attached, and then it should be done. Exhaust wise, I still got to pull the air pump and ACV valve, the ACV unit, which is it's gonna need a block off plate, but once that's cut out, then I should be able to drive it and spit flames. All right, so it's finally capable of being fully welded, and it can hit the header and the muffler. I just got to finish it up, which I had to do a really shitty job fitting. I'm not worried about it. I'm fucking gonna use some hammers and some cutting wheels to get a better gap in some of these. Could even cut these tacks and try and position it better. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but we got the 5th and 6th port actuator. This is fully welded. Up here is fully welded and cleaned off because I don't like the look of the welds. And then just gotta weld these two together, and then it should be finished, other than pulling the ACV and the air pump. Once that's done, this will be finished, and I gotta put the block off plate on as well, but that's it. So I decided to take the muffler / resonator off the car because the flanges were so warped, and just fucking put it on all as one, and then just attach it back to the Y pipe back. But this is what we got. This is the final product of it, at least for this portion. We got all the good stuff. It wasn't back purged, so it's really not that fancy, but I don't really care. It should work. I don't see a problem with it. It looks really shiny, and hopefully it still fits up. So muffler and the other pipe is completely on. I gotta fix that hanger because there's it's gotta bend up a little more. We've got that attached, and then see how it sounds. So unfortunately, once I removed the old cats and put new piping on, my old Y pipe back doesn't angle correctly, therefore changing the length of each side. So the right one is a tiny bit shorter than the left, so I will end up fixing that. So I've been driving the car around for a little while now, probably like 2 weeks. I still had the pump in, the air pump, and I still had the ACV still in as well. You know, I had the split pipe zip tied up. I decided to get back to work and start pulling the rest of the emissions out, other than the Sub-Zero and other stuff like that. So really the only thing I've taken out was the charcoal canister, which was already deleted. It was in there. The wiring and the tubing were all cut up though. I'm also taking out the ACV and the air pump, and that's it for now. I plasma cut my own block off plate, and I did a really crap job at sealing it up. As you can see, it looks like someone finger painted down there, but yeah, so I made that, and I'm hoping that it's gonna work. I gotta torque it down and stuff still, but the air pump is also out. The last thing I need to do is, after that, is just pull out the silencer for the air pump, and then put everything back together. Shouldn't take me too long, and I'm also curious if this is gonna make much of a difference now that this stuff is out. So after removing the ACV and whatever was left of the air pump, I definitely noticed more cracks and pop in the small like fireballs that are occurring. And once I add resonators or mufflers where their original stock mufflers were located on the exhaust system, that the likelihood of larger backfires will occur is going to be more substantial. So I've been driving the car for a couple of days now after removing the canister, the ACV, the pump, and the silencer. And I really haven't noticed much of a difference other than some exhaust notes, but feeling and performance-wise, it'd be very, very, very minor. So don't really expect much when you do that. But it also frees up a bunch of space, and there's still a lot more things that you could like remove in this, but I want to keep the car more OEM, like relatively stock. But if you're into that kind of thing, you could easily remove like the cruise control. You could get like a different air filter system. But as far as removing this stuff goes, for the ACV, there's 3 bolts and some extra lines that hang off of it. The air pump, there's a bolt up here and a bolt down there. Then the extra lines, this is gonna have to be plugged up. And then I decided to go the route of plugging the one back here that goes to the split pipe, which is right there. And then the silencer, which lays underneath it. You're gonna wanna remove this piece right here, and then you can access it. And that's really all I got. I'm still planning on doing the resonators or mufflers on the back here. I don't know which path I'm gonna take yet, but that's where they'd be going because the tails, the tips are a little bit off. And the thing is just incredibly loud. So I don't want to be the demon in the area. I'm also gonna be buying some transmission parts like the rear main seal, the clutch and pressure plate, like all that junk, because I guess the clutch and pressure plate and whatever, like the transmission and engine, have never been pulled from this car. Everything was legitimately stock as it gets, other than the BAC and like a couple of other stupid things. But I want to get this car maintained first, that way it actually rides nice. Like all the fucking joints and bushings are just absolutely shot, so the body roll is crazy. And then yeah, the fitment's pretty ass too. I quite like the rims, but yeah, a lot to do.